5, Virginia 5. Oh. Out here is body wounds, and the wind force low, and we've got lots of damage, heavy damage. We're here on the Jacksboro Highway. Jacksboro's trying to signal electric store. I believe it's Southmore. We have people trapped in the freezer. Buildings. Jacksboro Highway near the United store, and I can't get through with these electric lines. Here at 143 headquarters. Towards the Carroll Freeway. I'm a little bit out in front of it, but I'm far enough away where I think I can zip out if I had to.
I got up to speeds of 70 to 75 miles an hour in my station wagon, and as I crested the hill, I realized that the tornado was still immediately behind me, and I was not gaining any distance at all. Realizing that I could not outrun it, I started looking for some type of protection, either the culvert, or about that time I thought of the wedge shape up underneath the overpass as a possible source of protection. We ran to the paved area underneath the overpass and started running up toward the wedge, and by that time the wind was so strong that I just spread eagle on the concrete to create the lowest profile. I immediately looked out from under the overpass and saw the National Guard Armory completely disintegrate. And when the winds finally subsided, all the cars that had pulled in and parked under the overpass had been blown and were stacked up on one another. And I started looking for my automobile, and I found it a quarter of a mile down the expressway in this condition.
And are thought of as landmarks in this city. Memorial Stadium, McNeil Junior High School, Fire Station number 6, Ryder High School, the Spike Center Mall, from Dillard's to Penny's, the Evangel Temple Assembly of God Church behind the mall, the Wichita Falls Museum and Art Center, the Midwestern State University Athletic Dome, Southmore Shopping Center. Southgate Shopping Center. The National Guard Armory. The Wichita Falls Clinic Hospital. The Levi Strauss Company. Johnson & Johnson. McGahay Elementary School. The 4-H Barn. And Ben Milam Elementary School, which was heavily damaged. School officials said it was fortunate that the school located in Faith Village, one of the hardest hit areas, had no students in it at the time of the tornado. But it was noted that even though it was directly hit, the interior walls, where the children would have been, are still standing.
Both Wichita General and Bethania hospitals were filled to overflowing. Many injured were also taken to the Shepherd Air Force Base Regional Hospital for treatment of a variety of injuries. Those who survived the storm recounted their individual stories during the first hours.
And I stayed against my steering wheel like this while it beat the window out on the right side of my car and beat it in. And then when it started hitting me on the left side, well, I just laid over on the seat and covered up my glasses and stayed there. And as soon as it stopped, I jumped out and worked my way through doors, going through the house, calling my husband, and found him in the very front bedroom, and he was safe.
Oh, that's great.
Praise the Lord. There was only 2 rooms that are not totally topped. But we have so much to be thankful for.
That's a few minutes ago, back over towards the southwest over here. This tornado is about the biggest one. I've seen a couple in my life. This is about the biggest one I ever saw. It was heading this direction, and everybody was trying to get to shelter. And after about 5 minutes, we come back to our house. It's like this lady's here. Windows broke out, doors blown out, windows broke out of cars, the whole works.
In the field, emergency command posts were set up as police and fire units and volunteers began the search for the dead and injured.
Well, right now we're searching house to house with 2 men on either side of the street to check for injured people, and it's going to take the bigger part of the night, looks like.
You were here at the tornado 15 years ago. Is this worse?
Very much, very much. It's terrible.
While that operation continued, the Emergency Operations Center was established at the police department. Assistant City Manager Bob Haley arrived within a short time after climbing out of his flattened home.
Just kind of keep our noise level down. Talk to you in a second, Jerry, ask for your help there, and we want to start looking long range for tomorrow morning. And work the problems out tonight, but excuse me.
Well, it just cannot be described. You cannot understand the extent of the damage. We had understood that there was considerable damage, but to see it and to see it from that perspective, it's just overwhelming.
Eat and to find a little comfort after the storm. In addition, the Red Cross helped at the 2 command posts with volunteers and medical assistance. Salvation Army began receiving gifts from throughout the country, and these were distributed to those in need. Almost 1/5 of the Wichita Falls population. Clothes, bedding, and more food was available through Salvation Army assistance. The April 10th tornado affected both civilian and military people. In response to the disaster, more than 1,000 volunteer workers from Sheppard Air Force Base were brought in to assist in a number of ways, including property protection, traffic control, transportation, loading and unloading relief items, and medical assistance. The medical attention ranged from giving tetanus shots at the command post to taking in injured patients at the Sheppard Regional Hospital and aiding the staffs at the 2 city hospitals. In this time of need, the Texas National Guard, the Department of Public Safety, U.S. Army help from Fort Sill, Oklahoma, and the Navy and Marines were also on hand for assistance. The help that came into the city was almost as unbelievable as the tornado itself.